What are some of the most mind-blowing, little-known facts that will completely change the way we see the world? Every element heavier than lithium had to be created in the core of a star. Every element heavier than iron had to be created by a supernova. So you do contain stardust. And supernova dust. But there's more. Hydrogen was created by or at the same time as the Big Bang. So there's a large part of you that predates stars. We have calcium in our bones, iron in our veins, carbon in our souls, and nitrogen in our brains. 93% stardust, with souls made of flames, we are all just stars that have people names. By Nikita Gill. This is beautiful, thank you. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust. Suspended in a sunbeam. Carl Sagan. And, at that moment, Carl Sagan. Chills every time I read that. You always have more knowledge than you can put into words, Michael Polanyi. You can never fully articulate, for example, all of the knowledge that you rely on in order to ride a bicycle. There is always some remaining knowledge that you're leaving unspoken. Polanyi's book Personal Knowledge blew my mind. Checking out this book. Thanks. Awesome. I should mention that the tacit dimension is a more compact treatment of the major points. Thanks. Basic physical skills aren't learned by way of words to begin with. You learn to walk by doing stuff with your legs and your sense of balance until it works right, not by having it explained to you. You learn to catch a ball by watching other people do it, then trying to do what they did, and eventually figure out how to coordinate your eyes and arms and legs to put your hand where the ball's going to be. An explanation in words of what the skill is wouldn't really help you acquire it, and most people can catch a ball before they can solve differential equations anyway. Fun fact, most people instinctively do calculus in their head without knowing it. A person will judge the rate of speed that a car is traveling and apply just the right amount of pressure to the brake to arrest forward momentum without causing a jerking motion. This can be expressed mathematically, but most people do it without thinking just due to muscle memory. Calculus turns out to be a useful mathematical model of simple physical systems such as planetary orbits, cars, and arm muscles. Just how capable ancient humans were. At least 50,000 years ago humans crossed about 60 miles of open ocean and colonized Australia. The timeline for colonizing America has been consistently pushed back. For tens of thousands of years modern humans coexisted with other ancient hominids, essentially but not quite the same as us but close enough to breed and produce viable, non-sterile offspring. I find it absolutely mind-blowing to think about. The human brain, and thus our intelligence, has been largely unchanged for millennia. So if you grab a guy from 40,000 years ago and plop him down in the modern world, he'll do fine. After getting over the mother of all culture shocks and learning the language. And strangely, indigenous Australians appeared to have given up completely on shipbuilding after arriving, or at least the type of ships that are capable of crossing oceans. Well, once they arrived here, why would they want to go anywhere else? That's my thoughts. Obviously the original group had to have sailing/ocean experience and knew the dangers of it all. Why dick with that when you've got land seemingly forever and a whole bunch of animals you can hunt and plants to eat if not grow yourself? Imagine landing in Australia and realizing how fucked you were once you notice everything is trying to kill you. And then just rolling with it. No time to build a boat when everything wants to kill you, haha. Cheetahs aren't big cats. They are very large small cats. I'll do you one better with a cheetah fact. Around 10,000 years ago, cheetahs went through a massive population bottleneck. It was so bad, in fact, that the number of surviving cheetahs dropped below the threshold needed to maintain genetic diversity. As a result, all cheetahs alive today are essentially extremely inbred. All living cheetahs are now so genetically similar that, if you were to pick two random cheetahs out of the wild and perform an organ transplant from one to the other, there is little to no worry for rejection, so no need for anti-rejection meds. Okay, but performing unnecessary surgery on cheetahs is hella crazy. The example given on Wikipedia is dealing with skin grafts from one cheetah to another after a wildfire, but I honestly prefer my mad scientist version of unnecessary organ swapping. Something like this is asked every once in a while. The pale blue dot quote by Carl Sagan really puts our lives in perspective. Helped me not take life too seriously. Some backstory: the Voyager 1 space probe took a picture of the Earth at 6 billion kilometers. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust. Suspended in a sunbeam. The first time I read it, I teared up. I still feel something every time I reread the quote or think about it. There's a short video on YouTube narrated by Sagan, Wanderers. It's pretty awe-inspiring. Do it justice by watching it on a bigger screen with decent speakers. I cannot read this without hearing Sagan's voice. The U.S. military, through much trial and effort, has determined a minimum intelligence level required to comprehend and perform the most basic tasks through boot camp, like folding your clothes neatly, paying attention to fold points and creases, and storing them neatly in your locker, how to lace your shoes, how to assemble a rifle, etc. And fully 10% of the U.S. population fails to meet this minimum level. The ASVAB, basically the IQ test for military service, is generally scored on a percentage, like an 80 means you have a higher functional aptitude than 80% of the population, below a 30 renders you unfit for service, but you can retake it. I met one ASVAB waiver in the Marine Corps, and that man sometimes misspelled his name while wearing it on his shirt. I felt pretty happy with my 83. Felt like bragging rights at the time. I really only took the test because my friend needed to take it in order to join the Marines, and she wanted a friend to go take it with her. She scored a 47. She joined, I didn't. I'm too old now, but I always wonder how my life would have been if I did. You would be angrier, your back would hurt, and you would have tinnitus. Please like and subscribe for more daily content. I publish new videos daily, otherwise please feel free to check out another video. Thanks for watching.